Waste allocation load lifter Earth class, or as we all know, Wall-E, is a dystopian animated Pixar film created in 2008. When we think of Wall-E, we tend to remember a small, hardworking robot who falls in love. It's sweet, charming, and hopeful. But beneath that softness is a dystopian warning about the world we're creating. Wall-E mirrors our real-world fears: environmental collapse, consumerism, and dependence on technology. But at most, it imagines a future where social norms remain unchanged, even when everything else has transformed. According to Weisman, this is common. Technology changes rapidly, but gender relations evolve slowly. That tension is exactly why Wall-E is a perfect text to analyze. It shows an advanced world still stuck in old cultural patterns. Wall-E and Eve don't have biological sex. Yet, the film clearly frames Wall-E as masculine and Eve as feminine. Wall-E is boxy, rusty, emotional. Eve is smooth, white, aerodynamic, nurturing but also weaponized. Weisman argues that technology often inherits masculine values: strength, utility, toughness. Meanwhile, designs associated with softness, cleanliness, or care are feminized. Wall-E reproduces this pattern exactly. As we can see, gender is assigned, not inherent. Robots only seem male or female because humans coded them that way. And because Pixar is historically male-dominated, these design choices reflect industry-wide habits rather than objective truth. Their romance follow a heterosexual template. But why would robots even need romance or gender? Weisman explains this clearly. Creators embed familiar human structures into technology because those structures feel natural. The problem is that familiarity also erases LGBTQIA+ possibilities. In other words, the film imagines a future advanced enough for interstellar travel, but not advanced enough to imagine a gender diversity. This shows how deeply heteronormativity is baked into technological storytelling. The humans on the Axiom have surrendered control over their own bodies. Machines determine how they move, communicate, and survive. Weisman's theory emphasizes that when people lose control over technology, they lose autonomy, and autonomy is a feminist issue. The bodies in Wall-E are passive, shaped by systems they no longer understand. This shows real struggles of marginalized groups whose identities and bodies are controlled by larger systems. Wall-E challenges some power structures: corporate control, environmental neglect. But it also reinforces others. Wall-E, the masculine coded character, drives the story. Eve, the feminine coded character, responds to him. She becomes both helper and reward, even though she has more advanced body and a more important directive. Weisman points out that technological narratives often center men and position women as assistant. Wall-E unintentionally repeats this pattern. A male-coded machine becomes the emotional core, while the female-coded one becomes secondary. The film imagines the future where technology dominates everything, yet gender norms persist unchanged. This tells us something important. Dystopia isn't about ruined landscapes. It's about cultural fears that survive into the imagined future. Even when the societies collapse, Wall-E suggests the old rules about gender and identity remain. That's exactly Weisman's warning. If we don't examine how gender shapes technology today, we'll carry those biases with us into every future we build. Looking at Wall-E through Haraway and Weisman's theories shows that dystopias are never neutral. They reflect social anxieties of the moment. Wall-E critiques our world but also carries our biases into its imagined future. By recognizing how gender shapes even the robots we create in stories, we can push ourselves to imagine futures that are not only technologically advanced but also more inclusive.